how Sansa gets more difficult to light each time. Like I firmly believe the universe is like, girl, the like vibes cannot get any purer. Like it's we're cleansed. Like you're doing it. You've done a great job. But I just want to like make sure cuz some stuff comes through from the collective and it just looks you know, paints a different picture. So, just double up our efforts. Hi. Happy Sunday. How are you guys on this blessed Sheba Sunday? I am your host, Sheba. Ooh, love that little sign. Thank you to the amazing Billy Bunton for getting that for me. I love my name in lights. It's perfect. The second of many of my name in light signs that we'll see in this realm. How you guys doing? Good. Had our what is it? We had 4th of July. I spent it telling people like this is a holiday founded on genocide. What are we celebrating? This is ridiculous. We're actually, committing a genocide right now. What are you guys celebrating? It does feel kind of weird, right? Like we just know so much about how things are and like the made up propaganda, whitewashed, romanticized stories that we're told to have, certainly in the US, in America, like about how America came to be, who the founding fathers were, how we're supposed to show our love and gratitude for, this country. And it's like, y'all. Anyway, so this title of this episode is Let Democracy Fall. I don't know, this came to me a couple of days ago. 2 Sheba Sundays ago, I had mentioned a bit about, we have this performance anxiety. We want to be like giving a good performance. One of them is being an informed citizen. That's kind of like what goes into being like an adult, like the adulting performance. It's like being an informed citizen. So you like, you know about politics, you like, but you're not like, I don't know, guys. I think we're just performing it. It's not really that serious. We keep like being like, well, we got to do one of these 2 parties. That's the only way. And it's like taking the bus. But I'm pretty sure actually we should just get off the bus and walk the rest of the way to liberation and freedom and community and safety. Yeah, I think that's going to be the better idea. But I've been seeing since then, I would still want to chop it up and make it into a little reel or TikTok or something. But in the meantime, a couple people have been reaching out to me to like ask what I think about, the elections and our system and stuff. And some people aren't even like really asking me. I just see them sharing their thing. There's a lot of panic going around. A lot of people afraid of Project 2025 and like I see a lot of like, you have to vote in this one. And a lot of those I see, it's like you have to vote for Joe Biden, for the Democratic Party. Otherwise, Donald Trump will win and we will no longer have a democracy. And I hear that a lot. Like, democracy is at stake. We have to save democracy. I also hear democracy being used when, when Israel, the settler colony of Israel, is they're lauded, they're touted as the only democracy in the Middle East, and thus we have to support them and save them. I also remember when I was much younger, and like Iraq and Afghanistan were in the news. We were told, I remember hearing, we got to go and save, like, give them democracy. We got to save them from the tyranny of, like, you know, Shia, what is it? It's like some crazy, like, some Muslim thing that we're supposed to be afraid of, and that's like, fascism, and it's, they all the women have to wear burqas, and they're also forced marriage, and um just all these things that we have to give them democracy in order to save them from themselves, kind of. And I remember actually my dad explained to me when I was a kid that, like, they, I guess, Arab countries, like, they don't have a word in Arabic for democracy. So they can't even, like, understand the concept of it. And so we have to, like, give it to them so that they can, like, kind of have freedom and, like, have the rights that we enjoy. Like, it's tough to realize your parents are brainwashed, just like we all have been, and have, like, inherited a bunch of stories that, like, sound good, but, like, when you scratch the surface a little, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Those Arab countries are, like, geographically closer to the foundation of democracy, like Greece, that's who we credit it with. But they haven't heard of democracy. We heard about it first. And in our 200 years or so of being a country, which, like, half of it, we enslaved a bunch of people, we know enough about democracy to murder it into a bunch of other countries. Like, y'all, we're such a mess. Anyway, what did I write down over the week? Let me share. The first thing I wrote was, when you're, like, walking with a group in the city or something, and then, like, you've zoned out for a minute, you're just enjoying the walk, and then you realize, like, wait, I don't know, where are we going again? And you, like, look around, and you're like, you can't really tell who's leading you, and you're like, wait, is everyone following me? Oh no. Wait, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just walking. I thought someone else was leading. I'm just walking. Is that everyone following me? That anxiety, kind of, that, like, whoa, wait a minute. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately. Just like, oh wait, you guys don't think I know the answer, right? Like, I don't know. All I do know is that neither the Democrats nor the Republicans are the answer. I know not to trust either of those two white men or the sycophants who support them. I'm just seeing so much. It is like the age of emperor's new clothes. It's just like these two terrible, old, racist, creepy, violent men, and a bunch of people who are trying to, like, tell me, like, this racist, violent, elderly man is going to be, like, saving you. Everything's going to be better, like, with this person, or at least it's going to be, like, less bad. I'm like, come on, y'all. You're not going to convince me that, like, Joe Biden or anyone who is actively facilitating a genocide is more aligned with my values and is going to, like, bring about a world that I would like to see. Like, that's obviously not true, I'm like, guys, I know how, like, choice works, and, like, I don't actually only have two choices. And the guy committing, like, there's this idea that sometimes, like, it'll be worse if Trump is in office. Like, he'll have more genocides going on. And I'm like, that's so absurd, because Joe Biden is literally committing a genocide and is refusing to stop. So, like, even though, I certainly want him to, and I'm very loud and vocal about that in many different ways, all of the approved ways I've voiced my dissent, and he's still doing it. So anyone who's trying to tell me that that person is my best bet, like, you're not serious, babe. Like, that can't be true. So, yeah. So yeah, everyone's like, my family a lot of times is like, what's the plan? Because I've been like not hanging out with them or spending a lot of time with them or talking to them. Because I'm, I don't know. I'm just seeing the people who need my attention are the people who are, being bombed out of house and home and don't have food because they're being starved by my government, you know. Um, I'm just like, you're good, fam, right? None of that's happening to you. Okay. Like, sounds like you've got the family covered. I think my family has done a very good job of keeping me and the other people in our family safe, healthy, housed, very, very comfortable. And I just want like a fraction of that for people who are not in my biological family. And I think that's the right thing to do. And so, yeah, everyone's like, what's the plan, Sheba? And I'm like, you think I know what the plan is? You tell me what the plan is. Most of y'all been here longer than I have. I'm just coming on this scene. I came on the scene in 87 and it already looked like you guys kind of didn't have it. You guys kind of didn't have a handle on things. So, like, let me reflect back to you. What's the plan? Like, I see the worst people in history murdering, stealing, raping, looting with my money and like yelling at me that I can't do anything about it. I don't know. And I just feel like all I know is what I've been taught. And like, that's that you gotta oppose in any way, like the super bad guys that say you don't have a choice. So just give up. Like, just do what they say, just fall in line. Don't be a hero. Like, no, I don't think that's right. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all are just not panicking enough for me. It just really feels like, like you guys are being silly if you really think voting is in any way going to like save us. Like that's going to be sufficient, and like that would be sufficient even to do the stated goal, which is to save democracy, right? Like if we know we can buy an election, APAC, a foreign country, a bunch of rich people, if they can just like bribe whoever they want to be in this position of power, okay, then it's a fraud. It's not real. And like all the debates, all the elections, all the campaign, all the desperate text messages that the Democrat Party sends you, that's the plastic toy to distract you, like you guys, the actual people running things, I think, are this unelected group of rich oligarchs who do whatever they want, and they like kind of are so used to doing whatever they want, they're not even kind of hiding it anymore. They see the like jig is up, like we can see behind the curtain, and like they're just weekend at Bernieing a candidate, and like they're like, what are you guys gonna do? Oh yeah, make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. And the down ballot, that's like extra important. Make sure you do that. One thing every 4 years and we got the rest. Like, come on, guys. Be serious. So yeah, guys aren't panicking enough for me. So I want us to sit with, what's the plan for you? What did I write here? Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to accept that going along as usual is the right answer. I know that. So whatever we've been doing over and over again, continuing to do that would be stupid. So not going to do that. I'm very good at doing something different once I realize the thing I was doing is like harmful or not beneficial to me. So like uh, drinking alcohol. Like once I kind of like realized, I was like, maybe my body is telling me this is not for me and I should listen. Um, I was able to do it. I'm one of the few people who's able to just like quit cold turkey. Because it was like easy. Once I framed it as something that was only harming me and not benefiting me, it was easy. I'm like, well, why would I do something that's only harming me? Are there better ways to get the benefit that I got from it? Can I get that another way? Great. Let me try that. And it's been awesome. Um so I can't help but notice I've been seeing a lot of Project 2025 fear mongering and like scary, like, oh, like I see our oligarchs, the Democratic Party oligarchs, spending their millions to hire some of our most beloved actresses, our most beloved performers, to get us the performance they want. They want us to be afraid. They want us to be so afraid that we go and vote Joe Biden. It doesn't matter who they put up. Yeah, he's old, but 2025, have you read it? It's like, babes, come on. First of all, I've seen like a lot of the sentiment has been sort of like, this is not the election to try for a third party. This election is about making sure we have the option to have more elections. It's about saving democracy. Like, babes, we deserve Project 2025. That's what we can handle. That's what we want. We don't know what to do with all of this freedom. We don't know what to do with the freedom of speech or the freedom of association or the freedom of the press. So, it sounds like we're gonna lose it. That's what we want. Like what would we do with a real election? Like, we know these elections are ones rich people can buy, and you're still trying to convince me I have to participate in this sham? Come on. What would you do with a real election? We wouldn't even know. We haven't been taught to know what to do with like an actual engagement. We only know how to perform being civically engaged, but like, that's not us. Not, I hope it will be one day, but like, that's certainly not who we are now. So like, let's stop pretending. This like, oh, Project 25. Oh, babes, I love us, but we know not what we fucking do. Okay. It got me thinking about like, okay, so democracy, like, where's it come from? This thing that we're trying so hard to save. Democracy. Let me bring up a little Sheba Small. Okay, here we are. Trusty, dusty Wikipedia. Democracy. We got ourselves an ancient Greek word. People, rule, a system of government in which state power is vested in the people or the general population of a state. What's that mean? Okay, cool. So under a minimalist definition, rulers are elected through competitive elections, while more expansive definitions link democracy to guarantees of civil liberties, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go to like where it started. Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Let me go here. History. Origins. Here we go. First appears in Greek and political blah blah blah. Greece, okay? So Athenian democracy took the form of a direct democracy with the random selection of ordinary citizens to fill the few existing government, administrative, and judicial offices, and a legislative assembly consisting of all Athenian citizens. Okay, but like citizens is the key. So all eligible citizens were allowed to speak and vote in the assembly, which set the laws of the city and the state. However, Athenian citizenship excluded women, slaves, foreigners, and youths below the age of military service. So that meant only 1 in 4 people qualified as citizens. While owning land was not a requirement, citizenship could be gained by the obligation to fight war campaigns. So, I mean, like, we're trying to save a thing that excluded women, slaves, foreigners, and young people. People who now I think are very much affected by all of the laws that they, from the inception, weren't even considered like as part of the decision-making process. The exclusion of large parts of the population from the citizen body is closely related to the ancient understanding of citizenship. In most of antiquity, the benefit of citizenship was tied to the obligation to fight war campaigns. So, like, I feel like now we're still trying to say that this is the standard. This thing a group of white people, Grecians, came up with. Okay? A bunch of Greeks. And then we kind of incorporated some stuff from Rome. A bunch of Italians. Okay? Like, let's see. They actually evolved because they had this Spartan kind of assembly. It was every month, every male citizen at least 20 years of age could participate, and the older men would cast votes by range voting and shouting. The vote is decided on how loudly the crowd shouts. Okay, Aristotle called this childish as compared to the stone voting ballots used by the Athenian citizenry, but Sparta adopted it because of its simplicity and to prevent any biased voting, buying, or cheating that was predominant in the early democratic elections. Wow, kind of crazy that the same things that were plaguing the original white people, white dudes who set up this system, is still the fatal flaw and one thing that is messing up the thing that we keep trying to save, democracy. Okay, so even though the Roman Republic contributed significantly to many aspects of democracy, only, again, a minority of Romans were citizens with votes in elections for representatives. The votes of the powerful were given more weight. So most high officials, including members of the Senate, came from a few wealthy and noble families. It's just, we have this system that from its inception was unfair, biased, was really the will of a couple of rich, wealthy men, people hoarding wealth, relying on slave labor, excluding women, excluding other cultures, foreigners, other people's systems of government, and excluding children and people who are unwilling to give their lives to kill other people, military campaigns, you know? So, yeah. And then look, we have all these other different examples of democracies. There's one in ancient India. Apparently, the Americas, the Iroquois nation, developed a form of democratic society between 1450 and 1660, well before contact with the Europeans. And apparently, this democracy continues to the present day and is the world's oldest standing representative democracy. And you know what I'm kind of thinking, though? Like, I definitely think indigenous cultures, the Iroquois, probably have a much better sense of democracy that led to better stewardship of the land, of the people. Like, I think it probably lives in greater harmony with the people than the Western European, modern American settler kind of understanding of democracy. But I see it was also from 1450 to 1660. And I mean, I'll be honest, like, great, but not sufficient to withstand the Europeans. So, like, maybe democracy is not it. Maybe the representative democracy is just not it. Um, so let me get you back to this like big screen. Give you what you want to see. Okay, what did BB say? Right, and it's evolved more and more away from even these concepts. We have a vague sense of democracy which we herald, no matter what the actual system is. Exactly, guys. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. We're like, these brands know. They just say the word. We have been taught to accept the letter and not the spirit of something. So if you slap the name on it, we kind of aren't, we don't care about the substance. As long as it seems like the thing, we don't care that it is not the thing, you know. Um, Even the idea of like, why did this just come to my mind? Freedom fries. Remember when we did that after the Iraq War or something? Or I don't even remember why we did that weird xenophobic thing, but the idea that like freedom is a thing that represents America, and like, y'all, we're so not free, and it's so embarrassing to see us like kind of try to um force our lack of freedom onto other people under the guise of freedom and democracy. I'm like, you guys, this is so dumb. So dumb. Okay, let me put this up. Let me put this bad boy down. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, it just seems like, why are we trying to save a democracy? Why are we trying to save this system that is literally founded on a foundation of slaves, and like, it's a literal pyramid scheme with the few people at the top being wealthy and reaping all of the benefit of the labor of the slaves, and the people who don't have a say in things. Like, that's actually a stupid way to do things. And we would do well to start thinking now about another way of doing it, you know? So yeah, like, let's start thinking about what taking the bus, like, you know, we know voting, the two-party system, democracy, that seems to be bus travel is what we've decided on. So what does walking to freedom, getting off the bus and walking to freedom, look like practically? Think about it, babies. Yeah, okay, so Dems would not save you if you were drowning. That is another thing that I wrote down. And I saw that because I saw someone writing about that, because yeah, people keep being like, the Dems are, you know, the closest thing you have, it's the best bet. No, they're not. Stop lying to yourselves. And if you're not going to do that, certainly stop lying to me. Okay? I know that they are not going to do anything. They haven't done anything. If they have such a fear of Donald Trump or Republicans, they certainly have not shown that they have any ability to stop them. And I kind of know that they are able to in theory. So if they're not, I have to assume they don't want to. I think they like what the Republicans are proposing and doing. And they like that they don't have to take the heat for it. They get to like, oh, yes, we hate you, Republicans. Oh, you're so bad. Let me make sure I got my kente cloth on right. Oh, so bad. Like, babes, come on. Come on. They don't care. So yeah, they're not going to save you. They would not save you if you were drowning. And the metaphor that came to me actually was Black Panther 2. I don't know if you've seen that recently. Or I guess it was a couple years ago now. Black Panther 2. They had that kind of like Aztec, Mayan culture, who, you know, the conquistadors, the conquerors, the colonizers, the Europeans come in to give them some fucking democracy or whatever. They came and, of course, slaughtering people who were just trying to live. And so they were like, all right, we have no choice. They're like kind of like, they're going to come and kill us and enslave us. And so they were like, let's go into the ocean and drown ourselves. So they like go into the ocean, and like, oh, they take some like potion or something that they found, some root that they found. 'Cause I think they thought it was going to kill them or something. And then they went into the ocean, and it turns out not only did they not drown, they found out they could breathe underwater, and they unlocked these other superpowers that could be that like they could then use to like fuck up these systems that we were told were all powerful. What? And like it reminded me of also when I was this one time when I was tubing on the river, and the timing was kind of weird, so it was about to storm and it was getting really cold, and the water was really cold, and I was like, "Oh my god, I hope I don't die." Like that would be really not great. um but it was interesting, like my body, like in that like kind of extreme circumstance, my body like took over, like it was doing what it was designed to do, and it only unlocked the power when it needed to. So I'm not just like constantly like, only protecting like my heart and my vital organs and stuff. But when I was in that environment, when I was in that situation, it took over. Like my instincts, my evolved traits took over, and we're like, all right, we know exactly what to do. So they like kind of put me into like a little like it just like distracted me with other stuff. It like drew all of my heat to like my vital organs, and like I got through it. I discovered a capacity that I didn't realize I had until I was in the situation. Like the what who were they called? What were they called in Black Panther? Let me see. Um Black Panther. Oh my god. Panther 2, Namor, Namor, who, Hottie, Baddie. Let's put that up on the screen. Give this man a little screen time. Yeah. Hottie. Hey, babe. Oh yeah, yeah. This man, real cute. Okay, so who was like, what was their people called? Oh, they were the Atlantean people. Right. First king of Atlantis. Right, that was what was going on. Okay. The mutant son of a human sea captain and a princess of mythical undersea kingdom of blood. Okay, they went a different way, it looks like, in the book, which I thought was really cool. Okay, well, anyway, let's go back to me. Anyway, I like the idea of like this people, a group of people who, until this like insane, unheard of kind of situation, extreme violent, extreme change is thrust upon them, everything they thought they knew like goes out the window. They think they're going to drown. They think that's their only option, and they go to do it, and something completely different happens. Like they're unlocked. And so, yes, the Democrats will not save us even if we're drowning. But maybe, what if we can swim? What if we can breathe underwater? What if that is connected to my metaphor about walking rather than taking the bus of the two-party system? What if we get out and walk, and it's going to be hot? Me and Billy just got in from like filming a little video, and it's so hot outside. It's going to be hot. We're, indoor kids, us Americans. We're not that used to walking. We're used to other people like kind of doing the actual difficult work of stuff. So it's going to be difficult, but I think we're going to like discover new powers that we don't realize we have now, because we're told that our greatest power is in like kind of obedience to this democracy system that's already set out for us. So as long as we just follow one of the two white men telling us they're driving us to safety, we'll be fine. Like, girl, come on. No, we're not doing that. Or you guys can do it. Go ahead. But like, I'm probably not going to do that. So I don't know exactly what I am going to do, but figuring it out. Yeah. So I know that these How are we at? Doing 35? Great. Great. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think what do I want to say? Mm. Okay, yeah. So I think I wrote down here one of my superpowers is seeing your power and a unique way of harnessing it to help the collective. Um, so as that pertains to like walking to freedom, like how can I help you see your power? One, we might have to go on like one less vacation a year. If you're in my socioeconomic class, you know what I mean. Um, and also consider why we spend so much of our time and energy escaping from our lives. If they're so awesome, if they're so worth saving, how come we're always trying to escape it? How come we're always trying to like numb ourselves from it? Like we're always trying to like drink it away or work it away or vacation it away or distract it away with our footballs and our our sports and our Hollywood and stuff. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, it's like almost like our actual lives are an escape from our present reality. I don't know. I don't know. Think about it. I remember when I was drinking, I realized I would spend so much time planning when I was going to get my next drink and like how I was going to like get it and how like I was going to like make it how I was going to get it in a way that didn't look like I was like spending all this time trying to like plan the next time I could like get it. But like, I don't know. I did kind of spend a lot of time trying to escape um, my reality. So maybe that's what we're all doing in some way. Okay, what did I write here? Okay, I think I did. Y'all don't know what to do with nice things. Yes, like we Americans, we know how to fumble a bag. All of this like belief in how great we are, all of this like freedom, all of this like these nice things that we like say we want to hold on to, and we don't even know what to do with it. We don't even know how to hold on to it really. Cuz like no one really seems to feel very safe. No one seems to feel very relaxed. No one seems to feel very like present or connected. So like what are we even what's the point? No one seems to be very free. Lots of people who I always talk to about trying to like, hey, like let's be more creative about what we can do, how we can help, how we can create something new. They're a lot of times like, no, like what? I'm already doing. I can't do anything else. Like the thought of it is like an affront. They're like, you don't know what I have to go through, and I'm just like, y'all, yeah, I do. Sorry, like all of our lives are like so exponentially much easier and freer than someone, for example, born in Palestine or Sudan or Congo or Western Sahara, lots of places. And we don't even like use it. We like, this is what you do with your freedom. Oof, man, if I wasn't in this privileged class, I would be looking at y'all like, what the hell? You guys don't even know how to be free. You don't even know what to do with money. You don't even know what to do with disposable income and like free time. Um, yeah, so we don't know what to do with it. So we just do what we're told to do with it. Keep this system going. Keep this democracy going. It doesn't matter who has to die in order for it to be maintained. What? It doesn't matter how many people we have to lock up. It doesn't matter how much we rely on the slave labor of those people we've locked up. Like, guys, come on. We have like 4% of the world's population in America, but like 30, it's probably even more percent of the prison population. Like, not good, dudes. Um, let's not create the system. What if we're supposed to create a system that doesn't rely on slavery? Yeah. So what did I write here? If you have power and freedom, you have to use it to be a John Brown rather than a Samuel Cartwright. If you were a white man with money and maybe some land or some ties to people with that in slavery times, you need to either sacrifice that privilege in order to be a John Brown, or you are a Samuel Cartwright, someone who invents drapetomania, the concept that slaves who tried to escape were mentally ill. If you're not a John Brown, then you're a white person trying to scienceify and datafy and, commercialize, capitalize on the injustice and the oppression that exists. And I think that's kind of like, yeah, how we are now. Like, I think I got into that because I was thinking a lot about, like, we have this idea, like, we want to have a lot of grace for white people and the good ones that are trying. And I say to you, you are not trying hard enough. Okay? Your ancestors did a number. Your parents, their parents, their parents, they had to look away a lot. They had to, maybe they didn't kill an Indian, but they did go to dinner and interact with other people who they knew killed an Indian for them so that y'all could have a safe place to live. And, like, now I've been thinking, like, a lot of, like, what would Harriet Tubman do? What would we have said to, like, Harriet Tubman? If Harriet Tubman's like, hey, I need your help. I think a lot of us would have done what people have said to me a lot of times, which is like, oh, please, I couldn't help. I've already done so much, or no, it's just not worth it. No, or just they don't answer. So, I also know there's this, like, an idea of, like, oh, you think you're Harriet Tubman? You think you're Harriet Tubman? Which is interesting because I bet back in the day when Harriet Tubman, whose original name was Araminta Ross, they called her Minty. I bet when she was like, hey, I think we should just get free. We should just try. We should just run to freedom and see, like, what comes of that. Anything is better than this. And they're like, oh, what do you think you're Harriet Tubman? Your name is fucking Minty, man. Who the hell is Harriet? What does that even mean? So even back in the day, people were like, oh, you think you're Harriet Tubman? Like, even Harriet Tubman had to deal with that. So anyway, I was listening to the Janelle Monáe album, Arcandroid, I think, which is from like 2010. And this one song, Neon Valley Street, oh my God, it has just been like speaking to me. And they had this one part about like Harriet Tubman and John Henry. And I've just been like struck by that image of like me and Billy as like Harriet Tubman and John Henry. John Henry, as we know, is it's a tall tale. Let me see. Let's go over here. Who's Mr. Henry? Whoop. Okay. Yeah. John Henry, American folklore, African American, black man said to work as a steel driving man. And he was like born with a hammer in his hand. Which, now that I think about it, I don't love the idea that he was just like born to drive steel. He didn't even have to be paid for it. That's just what I'm born to do. Like, I'm like, but okay. And yeah, anyway, he was so good at steel driving that like when the steam engine came and threatened to put all of those other railroad workers out of business, John Henry was like, no, I'm gonna beat this like steam powered steel driving machine, and he did. So I don't know. I think our culture, we love a myth. I think humans, we're a story based species, and we love a myth. And like we love like a kind of a masculine figure, like a kind of larger than life masculine figure who's just like very like steady and strong and yeah. Anyway. Okay, what else I got? Am I almost done? I am. Okay. What do I see? Okay, humans, we have to see it first, bring it into this reality, and then we like accept it. I think a lot of things, yeah. I'm gonna do a Black Bunny hole on Harriet Tubman because I saw that like, at first she tried to escape. She brought her two brothers, but they chickened out. They were like, I gotta go back. So she went back. And then she went out alone and successfully escapes. And as she keeps going and successfully frees more people, she never lost a single person. Like her family gained confidence to do it, to leave. So I think we have to like see other people do it, and then we will get the confidence to do it, to bring it into this reality. Um, okay, what did I put right here? Oh, what's that got to do with me? Yeah, so a lot of times I hear from Americans, what are the Palestinians like? What is this? What does this have to do with me? And I'm like, okay, the Palestinians can say that. They're getting bombed and murdered, and their children are being slaughtered, and they are being like enslaved and terrorized. They can say, what's this have to do with me? We can't say that. Our taxes pay for it, and we're allowing it, and we don't say anything. So, I mean, it has to do with us. Like, we have to stop it. Otherwise, we're benefiting from it. And, people are allowed to treat us as they will. Okay. What do I have left? Yeah. Okay. Let's adjust our understanding of what support looks like. Think about like who is supported by my silence, who benefits from my silence, versus who is supported by where I devote my attention. Like, if I devote my attention to, let's say, the Super Bowl, sports and things, professional sports, like everyone wants me to devote my attention. Who benefits from that? Probably like Robert Kraft and like Jerry Jones and a bunch of like white men who probably did nothing. They probably did not act like John Browns in their days. I think they were more akin to a Samuel Cartwright who found a way to monopolize on the way things were at the time, rather than change it and create something that everyone would benefit from. So, yeah. All right. So, what am I coming up with this week? I think I'm gonna like start a new GoFundMe campaign for my friends Asma and Ibrahim. The other one is run by this woman Shahana, who I think is in England because it's in like pounds. And so I realized like maybe it's like I certainly donate to people who I know more. Like if I see someone who I know's name on a GoFundMe, I'm certainly a little bit more likely to donate to it. And so like maybe other people are like that. I don't know. Look at me giving you guys all these outs, all these justifications for why it's like, let me make it easy for you guys to do the right thing. So I might be working on that. Also, I have this idea, and now I'm putting it out into the collective. I have this idea of yapping for Palestine. I'm even like expanding it now. You guys love me and Billy, which smart move, because we are amazing. And you love us, and you like love to see us like do our thing, and like I think we're really interesting and fun. And so yeah, I want to do this thing like Sundays at Billy and Sheba's. And it's kind of like the Sunny and Cher show, except it's in 2024 and it's a live stream, and we just kind of do whatever we want. And like what me and Billy do on Sundays is like chat, ponder, like do our art, whatever comes to us. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I plan to have it next new moon, which is August 4th. So yeah, I think that idea came from the collective because it came in just very clearly and very like, oh yeah, of course, that lines up. That lines up with other versions of Sheba and stuff, and like versions of Billy too. So I think it's gonna be really freaking cool. All right. Well, that brings us to the end. I hope we're a little bit more comfortable. Maybe just let go of democracy. Maybe it wasn't ours to hold on to for this long anyway. You know, this dream of these old white men of old is like I think we've learned. We've tried it. We've given it the old college try, and I think we got to trust ourselves a little bit this time, okay? So, bring your forehead up to your screen, please. Love you. This is all made up. It is our duty to make it up differently. So let's start thinking about it, babes, okay? I love you. I will see you soon. Bye.